This is your 2020 Subaru BRZ, not BRZ because I'm Canadian and we say Z's as Z's. So quick perks, quirks, and irks. I really like the turret signals. They're nice 6 bulbs, individual but nicely lined up, really sharp look. It's got Subaru's typical squared off daytime running light and your halogen regular lights. Let's get a quick look at the front end. Yes, you get your LED fog lights as well on the bottom side of the front grille. Let's move around to the front quarter profile, which is where we started. Still looks good, even though it's remained relatively unchanged since it showed up, I believe, in 2013. Let's slide over and give you a side view. I'll back up a little bit. So this is the Sporttech RS. I'm not a big fan of the rims. Just, I don't know, I think there's a little too much going on. I do like the red Brembo calipers on the front and the back. Pretty nice look there. Going around to the rear quarter, I'll give you a good look right here. It still looks good, despite this shape not being changed very much again since its inception. It still looks really sharp. Going around to the rear, you have the continuum for the turn signals, 6 more bulbs right at the back there, and Subaru's typical kind of squared off design for their brake lights. Twin tailpipes, reverse light in the middle, nice big finishes on those as well. And you get this nice, I wish it was body colored, just my 2 cents. I like it that it's white on the edge, so when you look at it from the side, there's that nice kind of continuum there, but not a big fan of the black. Taking a quick look in the trunk, not a lot of space, but you can still put some stuff in there, and some beats none every day of the week, right? Right. Let's take a look inside the BRZ, starting with the seats. Nice sports seats, and BRZ in red, nice attention to detail. And you'll notice throughout the vehicle there is nice double red stitching pretty much all the way around. So headrests and the seat bottoms. You get it on the steering wheel on the inside, plus a little bit on the door as a single stitch. So pretty good look overall. 1 of 4 cup holders up front, and really good support here. Full marks, both side bolsters as well as the thigh bolsters. So let's jump in and give you a quick look. Oh, sorry for moving the camera. And nice plain and basic steering wheel. I like it. I like simplicity in these kinds of cars that are meant to really just be driven and be enjoyed. A bit of an irk, the start stop button is here close to the off button, the dual button for the climate controls. But you know, no matter, it's not the best thing, not the worst thing. I would have liked it either on the steering column itself, or there's a nice spot here for it. So this isn't an irk, it's a specific thing. You can see 0 is at 180 degrees or 6 o'clock for the tach, but for the speedometer, 0 is definitely not symmetrically lined down. And I get that they have to do that because 260 ends up right around there, and you kind of run out of real estate as far as putting numbers in. A couple of buttons there, blank there, no big deal, and everything else is kind of standard. These remind me of the vents from my 2005 Mazda 3, so I don't think it had that, but just a little interesting note there. Here's a quirk. The speaker covers are actually raised up through the mesh covering, so kind of a weird look. I'm so used to seeing flat speaker mesh, so yeah, a little interesting on that side. Let's take a look at the 7-inch infotainment screen. Let's take a look at it on an angle to get rid of the glare. I've always liked Subaru's infotainment screens because they're so easy to use and they're so responsive, and there's not a lot of, you know, push down just to be sure extra hard. So just light taps and you get to where you need to be. So really nice there, and good touch, a good balance, sorry, of touch screen, hard touch buttons and dials. Nice little thin line there. Get your clock. I don't mind that it's off center. Yeah, let's stick with that. I don't mind that it's off center. And then you get your climate controls here as well, and that whole thing lights up. And I think that's a cool part too, because when you put it off, the whole thing disappears. So nice little touch there. I am going to put it on because it's a little on the hot side, so let's dump that. AC is on, and these switches are kind of cool. Just instead of it just being like a regular boring, you know, whether it's a dial or a regular boring switch, they've made it kind of like an airplane cockpit switch. So nicely done there. This is kind of useless. There's, aside from maybe some loose change, I don't know what else could possibly fit in here. This does have the 6-speed manual. The gear shift is really tall. Let's give you a look there. And the boot casing is also very, very big, takes up a lot of real estate. And what's interesting is I'll put the car in third, so just straight up, and like there's so much space back here. I'll drop it down to fourth, and like that's it, right? So it feels like it's very front loaded as far as where the shifts go. Just a weird little notice by me. We get that handbrake out of the way. Also, nice double stitching and a manual handbrake, well done. So, you know, just a little observation there, and you get heated seats. Your thick line is really hot, and your thin line is just regular hot. So, this is kind of a cool quirk for me as I slowly shift to the right spot. Let me get my wallet and my gum out of the way. So you can actually move this, and there's 2 notches. You can see them there and there. So if you want to put something up front, you put the cup holders in the back. If you want to put something in the back, you put the cup holders up front. So I keep it in the back, just, I don't know, that's how I like it. There is no armrest at all, so the reason I put it in the back as well is I keep a reusable bottle of water right there, and it acts as a good substitute armrest for me. That's going to wrap the inside. Again, not much new here, but it's surprisingly, I've been doing this since 2014, and this is my first time in a BRZ, so, you know, I guess good things come to those who wait. Let's do the drive. 2020 Subaru BRZ. This is specifically the Sport Tech RS trim. So under the hood, it's Subaru's boxer engine, and that's 2 liters, 4 cylinders, putting out 205 horsepower through the manual transmission and 156 pound-feet of torque. And yes, it's rear-wheel drive. As far as the drive itself goes, it is very well planted. It is so good on the handling and cornering side, and it's really a driver's vehicle because of the lower center of gravity and just the sheer joy of driving it. You know, it feels good, high speeds, low speeds, in between speeds. Whether you're in the city, kind of just toting around, getting your groceries or doing whatever, or if you're opening it up on some of the back roads, it feels good. Full marks, 0 Irks, 0 Quirks for that matter for me on that. Seats, relatively comfortable. I'm a larger fellow up top, so I always kind of wince to myself when I see these contoured, very highly bolstered seats. But I think if I don't gain any more weight, I'm good with these seats. But the moment I get any wider, I think that's when the trouble could start for me. As far as kind of just handling the infotainment system and whatnot, the car is so small on the inside that you don't have to really do much reaching for anything. The 7-inch screen is great. It's got navigation, CarPlay, Android Auto. Again, very, very easy to use. I know I mentioned in the interior portion that I kind of had a quirk / irk about the gear shift being taller, and it's still a bit of it's not great for me, but it makes it a little easier as far as going to shift the gears. I think aesthetically it looks a little peculiar for me, just it being so high up, but I think I'm going to retract my my previous statement. As far as the actual gear shifting itself goes, it's a short throw system, so I found that the gear throws are very accurate. I didn't find much slippage. You know, when you go from second, third, fourth, whatever it is going up, the BRZ responds very well. Downshifting, fairly good. There's a couple of times where, you know, going from fourth to third or down from third to second, it got a little weebly wobbly. Not in a dangerous way, just I think I'm used to other transmissions. This being the first time I've actually driven a BRZ in my 6 years I've been doing this. But overall, it's fared very, very well. There is no active safety. That's okay. I wish there was something, like, yeah, there's a backup camera, and there has to be a backup camera. It's mandated by federal law. But even like a little blind spot monitor or something. Now, on the other side of that, Toyota recently, I believe late 2019, confirmed that there is in fact a second generation coming for the BRZ / Toyota 86. So will it have more sensors? Will it have any sensors, actually, for that matter? It'll probably have some kind of active safety, seeing as it'll be either a I'm thinking 2021 model, but more realistically, it'll end up as a 2022 model. There's really not much to dislike overall, considering, you know, what the car is, what it's for. You know, I purposely stayed away from talking about the rear seats because everyone knows the rear seats in the Subaru BRZ or the Toyota 86. they're just terrible. You can't fit anyone back there. You can fit things back there and the seats go down, but I don't know, maybe part of the redesign will be eliminating those rear seats and making it more like the Mazda MX-5, where it's a true two-seater. Let's talk about fuel economy. So it takes 93 octane and it's a 50-liter fuel tank, and fuel figures are 11.2 in the city and 8.2 on the highway, and you slap those together and your blended total comes out at 9.9, and not too bad. All right, again, consider what the car is, what it's for. You're not buying it for fuel savings. It's really just for the love of the drive. You know, you throw in the manual transmission, the low center of gravity, and the rear-wheel drive, and there you have it. All right, it's what everybody, not everybody, but it's what a lot of us ask for as auto journalists and some of the enthusiasts. Right, give me a low car, manual, rear-wheel drive, and I'll be happy. I don't know what the future will hold as far as if people are going to keep buying these or being interested in these. There's enough interest to warrant a second generation, absolutely. But you know, we'll see. You know, it's SUVs and pickup trucks that are really eating up the lion's share of automotive sales in North America. So, you know, like I said, we'll see what shakes out. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the 2020 Subaru BRZ. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Be well, be healthy, be safe, and I'll be back sooner than later with my next review.